Hi, I'm Tim and thanks for watching this video. In this video, we're going to be looking at Netrinos. Well, you might ask, what is Netrinos? Well, it's a platform that allows you to have remote access to your home network from anywhere in the world via, say, a mobile phone or a tablet or even another laptop somewhere remotely. And what it also does is allows you to access any devices on your network. So, for example, Home Assistant, media players, media servers, NASes, and so on. So if it has an IP address, you can almost certainly connect to it remotely. Now, you don't have to install the app on every device on your network as well, which is a bonus. So without further delay, let's get started and get this set up and tested on my home network. So before we get started, we'll just have a quick look at the Netrinos network website. Now, as I've said, I will put links in the video description to all of this information. So basically it tells you how it works. Now it's based on Wireguard, so it is actually as secure as it can be. In the other tab, I've got the pricing. So you can have the personal free account, which will give you up to 3 users, 100 devices and 3 virtual devices. Now, virtual devices, just to confirm, are devices that you cannot install the Netrinos application onto. So, for example, security cameras, NASes, or as another example, Home Assistant. So these would be classed as virtual devices. So with the free one, it gives you 3 virtual devices. So with the Pro option, you get unlimited virtual devices and 100 plus devices and 10 or more users. Now, you'll see here there's a 14-day free trial. However, Netrinos have given me a 30-day free trial promotion code, which I'll explain and show you later on in the video, or you can just click the link in the video description. Or, of course, if you're a corporate organization, then there's the Edge option, which is basically unlimited everything. So now that we've gone through that information, we'll go to download the Netrinos application. So this is the client application. And what we're going to do is install it on a Windows 11 PC. So it's the PC that I'm on at the moment. Now, the Windows 11 PC is the device on the local network. So this is the network that we're connecting to. So this includes the Windows PC here and also all of my other devices. So for example, Home Assistant, security cameras, and so on. So what we first need to do is install the client application on the network that you're connecting to. But before you do that, of course, you need to just click the sign up button and create your Netrinos account. So once you've created your Netrinos account, you'll get an email asking you to confirm your email address, and then you'll get a welcome email confirming that your account has been set up. So we'll click the Windows option and wait for it to download the application. And as you can see, I've got the pop-up window asking me where to save the application. So we'll just save it in downloads. So what we'll do is minimize this window and the other windows, and then we'll go into File Explorer, go to Downloads and double click the Netrinos application and click Run. Now it will say welcome to Netrinos, so we'll click next, accept the agreement, click next, and then it will say this folder already exists, would you like to install it? You may get that message or you may not, but I've got this message up here now because I previously installed Netrinos for testing. So I'll just click yes, click install, and then wait for it to install the Netrinos application. Then it's asking you to restart the computer, but for this instance, for this test, I'll just click no and restart it later. So you'll be prompted with the Netrinos login. So all you need to do is enter your username, which you've already created on the website. So you've created your account, then you would log in with your new username. I'll type in my username and of course the password and click login. Then it will take you into the Netrinos status screen, and you'll see here we've got this device, which is the PC called WRK1, and it's got a green tick against it, which means it's connected into my Netrinos account and also the VPN connection to Netrinos. So if you want to add other, for example, virtual devices, you will click the plus virtual devices here, and then it will automatically scan your local network for other devices that you can add into your VPN connection for Netrinos. So as you'll see, we've got a range of IP addresses here and different devices. However, if you're running multiple VLANs, which I am, for example, it will not scan the other VLANs. It will only scan the current VLAN which your computer, so the device you're connecting to, is already a part of. But you can actually add other devices from other VLANs, but you just need to do it manually, which I'll show you in a moment. So for example, if we wanted to access the DXP4800 Plus, the Ugreen NAS, we would tick that box and then click Add, and then it will take you into the virtual devices screen and it will have added the Ugreen NAS. So what it does is give each individual device, whether that be an official device running the application or a virtual device, it will give each one its own IP address. So you'll see here we've got the IP address of 100 dot and then the other numbers. So this is how you would access your devices remotely through the Netrinos VPN. Now it will also give you a host name for the device as well. So if we wanted to add, say, another device in a different VLAN, so if I bring up my list here, so let's add, for example, the SLZB. So that's the Zigbee coordinator, which is on a different VLAN, and we'll call it SLZB1. And then we'll enter the local IP address for the actual device on the network, 192.168.3.226, and then click Add. And as you can see, that device is actually in a different IP address range, so it's in another VLAN, but it still gives it its own individual secure IP address. So let's just add one more. For example, Home Assistant, the IP address for that, 192.168.3.207. So again, that's in a different VLAN. So we'll click Add, and as you can see, it's added those three devices. And then what we need to do is, of course, install the Netrinos application on the client device where we're connecting from. So this would be the remote network device where you're connecting into your VPN. So as you can see, I've gone to my usual app store. So it is available for Android and Apple devices, Mac, Windows, and also Linux as well. So what I've done is gone to the local Android app store, so the Google Play Store, search for Netrinos application, and then installed it. For the first time, we'll click on Netrinos. Again, we'll enter our username, and again, the password. So this is the same username and password that you've set up on the Netrinos website when you first set up your account. So just enter the same credentials and click Login. Now, before we continue further, I'll disconnect the Wi-Fi and then enable the 5G connection so that it's actually officially connecting remotely. So it's not actually connected on our local network. So this is, by the way, an Android mobile phone, which I've just projected onto my computer screen here. So you'll see that it's now discovering peers. So we'll just wait for this a few seconds to finish discovering. And it's already found this local Android device here remotely. And then also on the local network at home, it's found the WRK1. So that's the Windows PC. So all you do, for example, to access the virtual devices or the other devices on your network, so the ones that have the Netrinos application installed, you will click on that and it will give you the fully qualified domain name or IP address where you can connect to it. So if we wanted to access the virtual devices, we'll click the icon with the +3 against it, and you'll see that they've all got a green cloud option, which means they're connected to the internet. Now, sometimes it does take a couple of minutes after opening the application and logging into the VPN. It does take a couple of minutes for the devices to connect and be shown up on the network as active. So if we wanted to connect to my Zigbee coordinator remotely from my phone, we'll click the device, and then, for example, you can either copy the host name or the IP address So I find it easier to copy the IP addresses. So we click copy IP, open up a web browser, and then type in http:// and then paste in the IP address and click connect. And you can see it's taken me straight in to my SLZB Zigbee coordinator. So that's connecting to it remotely, of course. So if we wanted to access, say, the other devices, so Home Assistant, we click on that, copy the IP, open up a web browser. Now you can, of course, create shortcuts to all these in your web browser application if you wanted to make things easier, so that you don't have to remember all the IP addresses and type in everything each time. So we'll type in that, and then of course followed by the port number for Home Assistant. If you're a Home Assistant user, you'll know you have to type in the port number. And you can see we've now got the welcome home, so it's accessing Home Assistant remotely. So let's also just try one more thing. So for example, the Ugreen NAS, if we click on that, copy the IP address, and then if we go in, and you'll see that I've got a File Explorer option here. So it's a File Explorer application, and it's CX File Explorer. So if we click next, and then click allow and set up, and then what we'll do is add our Ugreen NAS so that we can access the files. So we'll go to network, new location, and then select remote, and then SMB share, and then paste in the IP address and our username and password on the local network that we use, and you'll see it's taken us straight in to our files stored on our Ugreen NAS, and we're accessing these files remotely. So it takes us in, it's working really quickly. You can see you can access any of your files stored on your NAS if you wanted to. So you can see it's really easy to set up. All you need is one Netrinos application set up on your local network on a computer, so that could be Windows, Mac, Linux, and then all the other devices in your network, you can add them in and you can connect to them remotely without having to install the Netrinos application on each device. So you could actually access your security cameras as well, where of course you can't install the Netrinos application, and which I've shown you, the SLZB, for example, and the Ugreen NAS, and also Home Assistant, where we haven't got the Netrinos application installed. So it doesn't matter, as long as you've got it installed on at least one device on your home network, and also, of course, the device. So the mobile phone, we've got it installed on the remote client where we're connecting from, then you can access anything on your network. So as you can see, it's really easy to set up. And for the cost, I think, of the Pro license of $10 per month, and of course with the 30-day free trial code, so the promo code that you put in when you set up your account for the first time is appearing on screen right now. And also there's a link to that in the video description as well. Now there are more settings in the application, so you can click on the gear icon where it gives you all the information, auto connect, stealth mode, and so on. And also on the Windows application, there's a lot more settings as well. So there's an option for access control. So here you'd add more users. So you can actually add more users into the account, and you can lock them down to be only allowed to access certain devices or all devices on your network. So you could give permissions, for example, for one user to access just the NAS, another one to access Home Assistant, and so on. So depending on how many users you have and which tier level, so which account you've decided to set up and how many users you're allowed to have in your account. Again, with virtual devices, you'll click setup, and then you can add or remove virtual devices into there as you want to. And then there's an option for gateways and routing or routing. So if we go in there, normally just leave these options as default, so disabled. And then there's also a link there for the web portal, which if you click open, it'll just open up a web browser and take you in to your account for Netrinos on the website. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you found it useful. And if you decide to test it and use it, whether that be free trial or the account or just the free tier option, please do let me know how you're getting on with it. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with more videos. Bye for now.